Hello and welcome. You're with IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live conversation web TV portal. So, the topic that we're going to talk about today is something that concerns each and every one of us. And all of you have been involved either as a perpetrator or as a victim. Sorry to sound sexist, but if you're a man, you have probably been a perpetrator and a victim. I'm talking about peeing in public. Now, several campaigns have been devised around this issue. Several more have started. Let's take a quick look at the latest one.
It's a nature's call, they say, when asked why in public. Men peeing in public is a common sight in India. Although there have been many attempts in the past to contain this menace by activists and various organizations, these efforts have had little impact. So much so that even the lawmakers seem to have thrown their arms up in the air, the Delhi High Court refusing to intervene in a petition objecting to people urinating in public stated, the problem of urinating in public has to be solved elsewhere. Surely this court cannot make a man who walks out of his house keep his zip locked. As the saying in Hindi goes, "Lato ke bhoot baaton se nahi mante," meaning a person who can only understand the language of beatings cannot be counseled by words. An anonymous anti-public urination activist group called the Clean Indian now roams the streets of Mumbai and uses a water cannon to disperse people peeing in public. The water tanker by the name the Pissing Tanker goes with the tagline, "You stop, we stop." So will the pissing tanker deter shameless men from peeing out in the open, or will this too go to the dogs?
All right. So the pissing tanker, we are going to try and contact the Clean Indian campaign, the people involved with the pissing tanker. They are based out of Mumbai. Of course, they are functioning in Mumbai, Delhi as well as Kota. But I have with me in the studio a great human being, somebody who is a humanist, somebody who is a social reformer, Dr. Bindeshwar Pathak. He is the founder of Sulabh International and he has pioneered sanitation in India. Dr. Pathak, thank you so much for joining the conversation. I invite all of you to join the conversation. Just log on to www.indiapostlive.com. Send us your tweets, #IndiaPostLive. This is, I'm sure, a contentious issue. I'm sure all of you can relate to it in some way or the other. Like I said, either as a perpetrator or as a victim. So let's talk more about this issue. Dr. Pathak, this whole idea of Sulabh that came and, it's done a wonderful thing. It's been acclaimed and recognized internationally. However, the truth is that even in our cities, irrespective of socio-economic status, men pee in public. Apne SUVs se utar ke, they are urinating in public. What are your thoughts on this menace, sir? Because it is a social chronic malaise. Won't you agree?
Actually, when women can control, why not men? So men are defaulted from the very beginning of the civilization. And so they feel free to do anywhere.
Like they feel free to do so many other things.
Yes. So I would suggest that now a campaign should be organized and propagated that when women can control, why not you can control? And you should do on a proper place. Why everywhere? Wherever you feel. I know a person who retired as a secretary of the government of India, and she was collected in Bhopal. She said to me that when I go to blocks for inspection, I never take tea or breakfast. Because I have to answer call of nature. I cannot do it outside. So when I reach in the evening in the guest house or rest house, only then I have tea and breakfast. So this is what the situation. So a woman can control whole day. Why not a person, a man, can control for some hours?
Yes, but isn't it sad that even the woman is having to control? Why should she control?
Only
Why
because,
can't there be more
yes,
facilities?
because of the national policy lacking in India after independence, or since independence you can say. So there is no national policy that first thing you have to do in India, any development, that you should build toilets and urinals at important places where people go, and only then you can tackle the problem.
Right.
First thing is the urinal or toilet. Other things come next. So this no national policy, till today I'm telling you, has not been chalked out that people when go from one place to another, they should have the first thing, good maintained toilet or
Right.
urinals, both for men or women. And the strategy also that even for men, even standing, you have urinals. But for women,
Not on the
no,
walls.
no, there is no urinal at all. You will not find in Delhi anywhere urinal for women.
Right.
Men even standing or without any shame, they do. But women, they have no place to, no place, except some public toilets now have been built in Delhi. So therefore, there should be national policy on this issue. And then, because Gandhi said, I want clean India first and independence later on. Can you imagine? The person like Mahatma Gandhi.
Right.
And he kept independence later on and clean India first. So nobody is honoring.
Let me let me get somebody who's joined us on Google Hangout. We have Aanchal Kohli. Aanchal is from Delhi. Aanchal, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Very good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Aanchal. All right, Aanchal, what are your thoughts on the whole menace of men and how they can just get away by just standing anywhere and peeing anywhere in public?
Ma'am, sir, actually, it's not about being a man or a woman. Basically, the first thought which should come to your mind is that what if you see somebody peeing in the public? It's basically unhygienic, it's unhealthy.
Right.
You're polluting the environment, and it's definitely not going to be a good thing in the coming time. So people should actually, because everybody is having a different thought process over here. But yes, of course, I mean, if it is easy for men to urinate publicly, then why not for women? I mean, if it's about equality. But then the thing is that it's easy to get away for men because they think that, okay, we don't have any source of comfort level.
No, do you think this reflects a higher psychology that, you know, men can actually, what Dr. Pathak was also saying, that men can get away with anything. They can do anything and they can get away with it. And nobody is really there to, even the High Court has said that there's nothing that we can do, you know, once they get out of the house. Do you think that psyche of men and, you know, we can do anything we want, do you think that is prevalent in the society?
Exactly my point. I mean, a man should actually imagine a woman doing that in front of his eyes, and he will be able to understand the psychology of every human being. I mean, be it a kid or a little girl, maybe little 2-3-year-old little girl only, maybe. Her mother, like her, she's saying, Mama, I need to go to the toilet, and her mother says, okay, you pee over here. I mean, what are you trying to teach to your child? Basically, it's about habit forming since childhood. What our parents have taught us, what our teachers
No,
have
but what
taught
does the mother do, Aanchal? If there are no toilets, what does the mother do?
No, the question is
Yes.
that you speak against corruption. But don't speak against these things.
Yes.
And as you have Lokayukt or Lokpal for this corruption removing thing, why not for this toilet and urinals? So the question is, in Chandragupta Maurya period, in Patna, Patliputra, if somebody defecates in the open, he used to fine 100 pan. Pan may be the coin of the time. And if one urinates, then 10 pan. But if somebody does, in the influence of medicine, or somebody is sick, then they are not fined. Now, so the first thing is there should be national policy that urinals and toilets should be built on at different places, so that people, when they feel, they can use the toilets or urinals, maintain toilets.
Another very important point is that, you know, even when there are public urinals or toilets, they are maintained so poorly, they are so dirty
Yes.
that a man cannot really use it. forget about women. Women are much more prone to diseases, infection. But even a man finds it difficult to go into those urinals. They are so dirty and unhygienic. Now you, sir, have been a part of several. The government has involved you in its sanitation projects, and you've been called as a consultant. What do you suggest the government really? Because it seems to be that sanitation and health seems to be the prime responsibility of the state, be it at the local or state or central government. What have you told the government?
Actually, if you treat toilets and urinals as sons and daughters,
Sons and daughters.
yes,
Okay.
and then you can take care of like your sons and daughters. In Sula, we do like this. The toilet is maintained around the clock. So nobody gets inconvenience going inside. As rightly said, many toilets are so dirty,
Yes.
nobody can go inside.
Yes.
When I started way back in 74,
Yes.
the Patna Corporation decided, I will give you money for the construction and the land, but I will not give you money for the maintenance. So you have to charge from the public. In Bihar, it was a joke. Now you will have to pay for the use of toilets or for urinals. And so people of Bihar, they don't pay bus fare or rail fare, but they pay toilet fare.
Yes.
I say, look, if it is maintained, kept clean, nobody would mind paying a small coin.
A 2 rupee or a 5 rupee. Yeah.
But if it is dirty, who will go inside?
Yes.
So the toilets and urinals can be maintained only if somebody is there to look after 24 hours, just like hospitals.
All right. Now, let me come to another question, and I'm going to throw this to both of you. There have been certain initiatives that have been taken. We just saw one initiative, you stop, we stop initiative. Now, what is happening is that, for example, in Bihar, the Chief Minister himself said, do not marry into a home which does not have toilets. A woman in Bihar sought a divorce from her husband because he was not making a toilet for her. And even in Madhya Pradesh, prospective grooms have been asked to pose next to toilets to prove that yes, I do have a toilet in my house, But, as far as these campaigns go, don't they have a fizzling out kind of an effect? Like this campaign that we just saw of
Actually,
water cannons.
The same case of Madhya Pradesh, we have built a toilet for that man. He had only 5,000 rupees. Difficult to build toilets in that amount. So Sulabh has built toilets for them. And we went to court. And court appreciated that Sulabh has come forward to build toilets. So the campaign should be followed up by the action. Only if you do some campaign and some news coming in the TV or newspapers, after that you forget. In Maharajganj, I gave money and toilets also to both the families where the daughter-in-law went away from the in-law's house. So the question is, any campaign should be followed by action. The Sulabh only, we did not campaign only. Followed by action.
So any advice if in case this person Devvart Hada, we were trying to reach him in fact, but in case he's watching this conversation, any advice you want to give him regarding his campaign of throwing water cannons on men who are peeing?
Yes, what is the problem in India? People generally work in software. They don't work in hardware. There should be a combination.
Right.
Software and hardware. So Gandhi said this, Gandhi said this, Gandhi said this. Had I said like this, no impact of Sulabh. Because motivation, education, communication, training, designing, estimation, implementation, maintenance and follow-up. So we combined all the works together.
Okay, so not just throwing water on people, but a much larger plan, you're saying.
At least we have built one urinal. If you have got with one toilet, then you have right to say like this.
All right.
But if only just throwing water at somebody, okay, I don't criticize this. But only say that you also should follow the action.
Right.
This is very important.
Right, okay. Aanchal, finally, your last thoughts. We're going to have another conversation coming up in a bit, but your final thoughts on, this whole issue of the way men are being punished. We've had issues where in Rajasthan, women were told to beat drums when they see men peeing in public. And now this campaign in Mumbai, where water cannons are being thrown on the men. Your thoughts on that? Final thoughts.
Well, personally, I really don't think that these methods would work.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody is stubborn, that person is definitely going to look for a place where some hindrance or hurdle is not going to take place, such as water cannons or beating the drums and all. So basically, the mindset has to change.
Right. All right.
And you identify the root cause, that why are people doing this in the first place? I mean, the first thought that comes to their mind is that if we have toilets in our houses and if there are public toilets in public places, why to ruin the environment by polluting this thing? And it's basically, there should be a strict law that you will be fined ₹1,000 or maybe more. Basically, it's about the mindset which has to be changed totally.
Question mindset is one thing. I agree with her. I cannot disagree. The question is, in our toilet.
No, it is also, let me just bring in another quick point here. When a woman watches a man.
No, just let me free.
Okay,
just
okay.
One minute, half a second.
Okay.
When I put up the toilet, first day 500 persons came to use the toilets. Today 20 million people are using toilets. So those people, if they go outside, what would happen? So I say entirely agree that should be done. But while doing all these things, there should be provisions also.
Right, absolutely.
So that could.
But how does a woman feel? She's out there, she's walking on the road, and suddenly next to her she sees a man. I mean, it's embarrassing for her. It's embarrassing for him. It's a larger social issue.
In Indian society, the girls and women have been embarrassed for centuries.
Exactly. Yes.
Not for one year.
Right.
We are 3 brothers and 3 sisters. 3 brothers are all MA, PhD, DLit. But 3 sisters, only 3 class passed. Why? Schools were in other villages. So they were not allowed to go outside the village.
Yes, a lot of schools, girls drop out of schools because there are no toilets.
No toilets also. Yes.
There are no toilets, so they stop going to schools. All right, this is a very big issue, a very complicated social issue. But I would like to thank Dr. Pathak for sharing his thoughts with us. I would like to thank Aanchal. Thank you so much for coming and joining the conversation.
Thank you.
Our conversation continues. If you have your thoughts on this entire issue of men peeing in public, and what do you think should be done about this? Do you think such campaigns, how can we really sustain these campaigns to change your mindset? Please write to us, www.indiapostlive.com. Send us your tweets, #IndiaPostLive. Thank you so much to both
Thank
my
you.
guests for joining.
No, thank you.
Thanks.